Hello, my name is Tanya Debrula and I'm HR consultant, and I own Specialised HR Solutions, a HR consultancy that provides independent HR advice to eco, ethical, organic and vegan businesses and charities. I've been working on furlough and the job retention scheme since March. Sadly, I've also been working on some redundancy programs, but I've also been helping employers to manage their teams whilst working from home. So the aim of the video today is to help you to get a better understanding of the job retention scheme, furlough leave and redundancies. So let's firstly talk about the recent announcement of the job retention scheme being extended until October 2020. So currently employers can claim up to 80% of their employee salaries, and from August through to October, there is an expectation for employers to contribute to the salaries as well. Employers are expected to also phase staff back to work, so effectively putting them on part-time working. Furlough is for a minimum of 3 weeks and to a maximum of 3 months, and you can put people on furlough month by month if it's easier for your business, as long as it's a minimum of 3 weeks at a time. You must send a furlough leave offer letter to employees, setting out the terms of the furlough leave and getting their agreement, either a signature on the agreement or maybe an email, WhatsApp message or text message, as long as there's something back from them to say that they are happy to go on furlough and they accept the terms. If they refuse, then hopefully your letter should have outlined what will happen if they do refuse to go on furlough leave, which will be something along the lines of that they could be made redundant or they could be laid off. So who can actually go on furlough then? All staff, regardless of their contract type, can go on furlough. And the individuals you select for furlough is down to the needs of the business. You may want to consider anyone that is self-isolating or is shielding in this process as well. A lot of queries about redundancies at the moment. Is it permissible to do redundancies? Well, yes, it is permissible to do redundancies. So the government introduced the job retention scheme to help reduce the amount of redundancies, not to avoid them entirely. And the government does not expect employers to get themselves into debt or see income levels have significantly dropped. So before you go ahead with redundancies, I urge you to seek some professional HR advice. You will need to follow a fair process in order to reduce the risk of getting a claim made against you. Individuals that are on maternity leave, they can also be furloughed. But if they are in receipt of statutory maternity pay, then once they return, they cannot go back on maternity leave. Slightly different if they are being paid on an occupational maternity scheme, because they can actually return back on maternity leave. Employees during their furlough period would continue to be employed by the organisation. They would not carry out any work for the organisation whatsoever. They will continue to receive their salary, although it might be reduced. They will accrue all their annual leave. They can attend training, but they cannot attend any work meetings. And the level of communication between yourselves needs to be agreed, ideally before somebody goes off on leave. And can they do voluntary work? Yes, they can, but the voluntary work must not be for their own charity, the work for charity, or an associated charity. Can individuals work whilst on furlough leave? Yes, they can do other work, obviously for another employer, providing it's outside their usual working hours and does not exceed a 48-hour working week unless expressly agreed between both parties. But you also might want to check the employment contract to see what the clause says about restricting individuals, as there may be a clause stating that individuals can do the work for other employers, providing there's an agreement between the employer and the employee. So how are we going to get individuals back to work? How is it safe? So return to work can only be done so if you as an employer can prove that it's safe for them. So you would need to make sure you set up 2-meter distancing, you rota staff, you consider who is coming in on public transport, maybe give them a car parking space, maybe the loan of a bicycle if need be. But just remember, it's only if they're safe to do so, if you can set up the provisions. Individuals that are sick whilst they're on furlough leave, so can they get sick pay? Well, yes, they can. So that would be from the first day of sickness, and people that are self-isolating, they're no longer on sick pay, which they were going back in March. They were considered to be sick, then they can now be furloughed instead. And individuals that are shielding can also be put on furlough. With regards to who can go on furlough and who qualifies, well, employees will now qualify if they have been put on payroll before the 19th of March, it was actually the 28th of March previously, and I would suggest that you check with whoever does your payroll to make sure the individual you are concerned about does qualify. Staff can be rotated, so they can come off furlough, back into work, and then go back onto furlough. And I would recommend that you get in a new agreement every time, setting out the dates, and make sure the start date of furlough is ahead of the date in the letter. Annual leave can be accrued whilst on furlough, and you can take annual leave whilst you're on, can accrue annual leave whilst on furlough, and you can take annual leave whilst on furlough. So I would suggest that you make an agreement in advance with your employer how that will actually work. If employers can allow you to roll over up to 2 years, and I would suggest that you also check your terms and conditions regarding how annual leave will work in this case. Bank holiday also depends on the contract and how it works, and how employers can claim for the job retention scheme is first of all they need to speak to the payroll department because it's done through the HMRC portal. And the job retention scheme grant will actually allow employers to claim for up to 80% of the furloughed worker's salary, capped at $2,500 gross per month. Employees will still have to pay the tax, and the employer's national insurance contributions can be calculated as well in this. Fees, commissions, as well as bonuses, unfortunately can't be claimed for. On a side note, regards to working from home, if employees are working from home during this time before you put them on furlough, you need to consider some sort of HR policy to support them, as you still need to have a health and safety responsibility for them. You should be carrying out risk assessments, doing regular calls, meetings, ensuring their well-being isn't being affected by the whole situation. That is the end of our video today. Very short video. If you have any queries, please visit our website and send us a message through the contact page. Our website is specialisedhr.co.uk. We have a Facebook and LinkedIn business page as well, also contactable through that. And you can contact us on email hello@specialisedhr.co.uk. Thank you for listening.